Welcome to the Attic Manadad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena, but also what's fun in Magic. Fleem, everyone. What is Fleem? Well, the new set, Through the Omenpaths. It's full of spiders. May or may not be related to another set you can play in paper, but the Arena version has this guy. Fleem, Goben's creation. You have Goben on one side, and then you can flip over into Fleem. And I don't know if it's actually going to change the meta, but everybody seems to love Fleems, and that's what we're talking about online these days. There you go. Goben, Gene Splicing Savant, 1/1, can't be blocked. Every time it hits, it connives. Then you can pay to flip it. You can play this side without playing the cheap side. The side 2, you can play just straight up. 3/3 Flying Menace. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less. And each non-land card in your graveyard has Mayhem, which is the new version of Madness, where if you discard it that turn, you can play it. Restrictions apply. So, this is normally a show where we talk about the meta, but I'm just shamelessly bringing Fleem into it because there's not much to talk about since last week. Wizards has not banned Vivi. They have not banned Cauldron. So let's just buzz through and see what's going on in the meta and what decks are winning, what decks are popular. Here in Standard Best of 1, Mono White Life Gain is the most popular. Mono Red Aggro, second most popular. Jeskai Artifacts actually winning more than Mono White Life Gain or Mono Red Aggro today. And there's the popularity. Mono White Life Gain. People liking it. It's a very cheap deck to put together both in paper and on Arena, so worth checking out. I have a budget life, or not budget life game, but a budget Mono White deck that I've been working on, so we might try and record that. Nobody seems to want to watch Standard right now. Kind of surprise, surprise, when there's a deck that is the obvious winner. Although, look, no Vivi Cauldron here in Best of 1. We're going to have to switch over to Best of 3. And if we get over there, is it Vivi? Most popular, although not by that much. People still like Dimir mid-range, even though it doesn't win nearly as often as the Is It Vivi. Gruul Landfall actually performing pretty well. That's one I don't think the paper results have really borne out. I don't see it anywhere. Here on MTG Goldfish, they use Magic Online and paper tournament data, and they're showing Is It Cauldron at 30.5%, Mono Red Aggro at about half of that, 16.5. I mean, we got some Mono Red Aggro 5-0s here, Mono Red Aggro, Mono Red Aggro. I don't know if there were any big tournaments recently that are of relevance. Here's a standard challenge won by Is It Cauldron. Here's a standard challenge won by Mono Red Aggro. It doesn't look like Cauldron is like as dominant as it was. People have got some tech now to go up against it. Still, it's still winning consistently and still a big part of the metagame. Apparently there's a prowess version that doesn't use Cauldron that's snuck in here at number 5. See how far we have to go down to find. Yeah, you can't even find Gruul here. Whereas on Arena, Gruul doing very nicely. By the way, this is untapped.gg data. They don't pay me. I pay them. So you guys get the data if you're new here. Let's flip over to Pioneer. Vivi also just dominating here in Pioneer. Don't have a ton of data. What should we put in here? Rakdos mid-range. Show that. Show Mono Red Aggro, Mono Black, Phoenix. Phoenix just won a tournament recently. I saw some results on the old blue sky. So Rakdos mid-range kind of steadily falling here. Azorius Control has fallen a bunch this week, but leveled out toward the end. And where's Vivi? Vivi is just right up there. People finally cracked Vivi and Pioneer is kind of what it looks like. Let's see in Best of 1 on Arena. Selesnya Auras, Azorius Control, Rakdos Aggro. So not dominated by Vivi if you want to If you want to escape Vivi, I guess go play best of one. Over here, looking at what MTG Goldfish has for their data. Mono red aggro at 18.5%. Practice mid-range at 15.6%. Mono black mid-range at 11.4%. Phoenix at almost 9%. And Azorius Control at 6%. So similar mix of decks in their best of 3 data. And moving right along. Alchemy. Play rabbits. Vivi also, man, most popular in Alchemy, but number 2 win rate actually behind rabbits. So you're not getting away from Vivi if you're playing Alchemy. What about Historic? Is it Wizards? Does that play Vivi? I could see Vivi fitting in that deck. Grixis Wizards is the number 1 in win rate. Let's just take a look at what's in Grixis Wizards. What makes it Grixis? This is all standard wizard stuff. And the festivities, it's interesting. Shove Aside is, I guess, what you're getting in Alchemy. Expressive Iteration, you can play 4 of. Consider, Spell Pierce, Surgical Extraction, which you can play for free. That's kind of crazy. And Flame of Anor. So they're just calling it Grixis apparently because of Surgical Extraction. It's not actually running any black mana sources. Untapped has really got to fix that. They got, what is this? Naya Life Gain was going crazy and then just fell off a cliff here at the beginning of the month. Not sure what is up with that story. Timeless. Timeless is about to be insane because they're printing Opposition Agent. So you can go Dark Ritual Opposition Agent turn 1. Then your opponent's fetch lands, good luck. Because you control, with Opposition Agent, you control opponent when they're searching their library. And then you get the card that they searched for. So Mardu Energy, with a really healthy lead in win rate. Boros Energy being the most popular. Probably very similar decks. And Boros Energy is at 62% win rate. So, just the energy decks pretty clearly ahead of everything else here. And that old graphity graph. What happens if I reset visual? Nothing. Just curious. Alright, let's flip over to the paper formats. Take a look at what's going on in Pauper. Blue Terror. Again, just a bunch of decks between 12 and 6%. Or 5% even. Pauper always looking pretty good. I wonder if Blue Terror, not using High Tide. High Tide is like its own deck. But I know High Tide is sort of like on watch. They unbanned it in Pauper, and they're going to see. Legacy, pretty dominated by Dimir Reanimator at the moment. Vintage, Mono White Initiative, Dimir Lures Control, Jewel Shops. Those have been going back and forth for a while since we've been doing these. Yeah. So that's the metagame this week. Does anybody want to talk about anything? You can talk about Fleem, or do you hate Fleem? Where do you put Fleem? Is it loot better than Fleem or worse than Fleem? I'm Team Fleem if I got to put my cards on the table. So I'm wondering if they are like working on Fleem cards or if they're just like shaking their heads at Wizards right now, like with the insanity around Fleem. Leave up the standard info here while I check the messages. Anybody have anything to say? No? Okay. Well, that's good because I got to run. Sorry it was a quick one this week, but we'll be back to play some Spider sets. I'm still toying with the idea of doing just only doing the Through the Omenpaths. I only got so much room in this old dad brain. I don't know if I can memorize the names, 2 names for every card. And some cards, as you saw with Goben / Fleem, have multiple names per card. I don't know how if I can do it. Scryfall had to like rewrite their whole code base, so it's just a mess. I kind of think it's just a mess. Even though I like a lot of the cards, I think more than other people do. But yeah, so let me know what you think. This has been Manadad, reminding you Magic is a game so fun.